Today we go over the top 10 easiest junglers in League of Legends. Let's get to it! But before we do, be sure to subscribe because it really helps me out. And let's get into this. Alright, in a recent season, the jungler has been given a very important and challenging role. This means how good the jungler does can mean the difference between winning or losing. Now, let's get into the easiest junglers, shall we? This took some researching. Number 10, Nunu. Alright, Nunu's job is to make the enemy jungler completely useless. It seems clear that if you learn how to play Nunu, you can learn how to use Nunu to make the enemy jungler's life a massive pain, which I think it's clear is the whole point of Nunu to begin with as a jungler. What do you think of Nunu? Let me know. Number 9, Jin Zhao. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. For new players, he's highly recommended. Excellent early clears, and his W ability helps him keep his health up. His E is a real gap closer. If you manage to hit your enemy 3 times using his Q, you can knock them up. However, he's pretty snowball reliant. In team fights, you'll find yourself blown up without contributing. If you know how to use your E, you can really close those gaps, but I would advise you to keep using your W, keep his health up. Because if you don't keep his health up, you're going to die, because this guy is very snowball reliant. So you're going to want to be very careful when doing that, and make sure if you do get teamed up on too much, spam your Q, because if you hit them 3 times, you knock them up, which could give you a chance to Q flash. Essentially, Q and then the flash spell to get on out of there. But that's just me. And if you know how to do this guy well enough, you can be pretty helpful to your team. However, you will need to get an early lead. Alright, gang. Number 8, Rammus. Alright. Rammus can take some getting used to. You can avoid his ganks pretty easily, and he doesn't have very fast clears. But, like with every champion, once you get some items on him, things improve. You can get through camps easier, allowing you to zoom through those enemies and taunt them. With this guy, on a side note, you'll be able to tank any damage with ease. He's a good jungle choice, especially when going up against a team that is AD heavy. You're going to want to be very careful with this guy, though, because clearly you're going to want to get some items on him. What do you think of Rammus? Let me know down in the comments below. Number 7, Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is easier, making him a great jungle choice. W, according to my research, is capable of dealing a lot of damage. His E can deal massive damage to a large group of enemies, which means if you get ganged up by higher level minions, spam his E ability so you can deal massive damage and blow through those higher level minions a lot quicker. You're going to want to remember, earlier levels, his ganks aren't exactly great, but if you level him up enough, he does go through some good changes. Now, I will say this though, you don't want to be too reliant on his ganks. However, in the higher levels, his ganks can help you a lot. But that's just me. Just remember the key thing. If you're in a massive group, E-flash. Use the E ability to deal some massive damage and then quickly flash your way out of there. Boom. E-flash. Right? But that's just me. What do you think of Fiddlesticks? Let me know. Number 6. Master Yi. This guy is item dependent. So farming is definitely something you'll need to do in order to get those items. Now, once you get the items, he can be a nightmare with the ability to remove squishy champions. I will say this, for players tired of having to rely on a team, this guy can be a good choice. Number 5, Sejuani. Sejuani, according to my research, because like I said, this video took some researching, is an influential tank. Got a good CC and mobility, making traveling easy. You just gotta remember, be careful, because if you're traveling, you could easily get ambushed by your jungler enemies. So, if you're going to travel with her in the jungles, just make sure your enemy junglers don't, flank you or come at you from behind when you're not expecting it, and then boom, you're dead. I know she's an influential tank with good CC and mobility, but even good tanks can be dead if they don't pay attention and get flanked by their enemies or caught from behind. I would like to note that I also discovered she doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so you're going to need someone to help you if you were to jump into the fray. So be very, very careful not to go into fights one-on-one with this chick. I mean, she doesn't do a ton of damage, so you're going to either want to stay in the jungles, level her up like crazy, then go out and try things, or stick to a teammate and take them on as a duo. But that's just me. What do you think of Sejuani? Let me know. Number 4, Zac. He has an engaging range that is absolutely insane. And if you have a high enough damage team and need early support, this guy right here would be a good option. Like our earlier mentioned champion, Sejuani, though, doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Escape's pretty good, though. So remember, flash, okay? Do not forget with this guy. Escape's pretty good, yes, but flash could also be very useful. However, Zac will need a team to fight with him. Without a team, not so good. Just like Sejuani. So remember, stick to a teammate unless you stay in the jungles and level this guy up like crazy. Otherwise, not gonna be as good. Let me know what you think of him. Number 3, Volibear. I would like to say this. According to my research, he's pretty good in terms of gameplay, bringing a fair amount of damage to the table. If you try to chase down or outrun one of these guys, you're probably going to fail. As according to my research, Volibear is the type of champion that will require a group to take him down. So you're definitely going to want to just accept your fate if you're trying to outrun this guy. Because if you can't, find a teammate and a Volibear is chasing you down, this guy is going to take you out. Going up one-on-one against this guy, probably not a good idea. However, if you're playing Volibear, it can be useful. Number 2, a Moo. Moo can have a good amount of kills and assists if you know what you're doing. You're going to want to play this guy if you want to do a lot of kills and assists. You can easily carry your team fights, and his AoE skill will take the enemy champions by surprise. I've tried this little guy, and I can say he's pretty interesting, but that's just me. What I've discovered is you can build AP on this one, and he can still be tanky with a high amount of damage. But you're going to want to remember, keep the blue buff. You don't want to deal with his mana problems. I mean, they're not all that crazy, but you will need that, So you're going to want to remember, keep the blue buff, or you might not be able to keep up with everyone. Alright, number 1. Warwick is such a good jungler that you won't even need to grab any potions with your first buy. Good versatility, can carry with full damage, and be useful as a full tank. But you can also do a tad bit of both with his Bruiser build. He does have some significant mana issues, but you can be very effective if you know how to manage them. But I will say this, he does have mana issues, so pay attention to that. What do you think of Warwick? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of all that down in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe, because it really helps me out. And I will see you in the next one.